Welcome, everyone. Today, we'll be discussing an essential concept in bread baking, the baker's percentage. The baker's percentage is a formula used to express the ingredients in a bread recipe in relation to the amount of flour used. It provides a standardized way of communicating and scaling recipes. Let's dive in and understand how it works. To calculate the amount of each ingredient required in a recipe, we use a simple rule of 3. Let's take a look at the example on the slide. We have the following percentages for our ingredients: 100% flour, 70% water, 20% starter, and 2% salt. Our target is to determine the specific amounts of water, starter, and salt needed when using 500 grams of flour. To calculate the water needed, we take the 500 grams of flour and find out what percentage it represents of the total flour. In this case, the flour is 100% and the water is 70%. We set up a proportion: 500 grams of flour is to 100% water as x grams of water is to 70%. Solving this equation, we find that x equals 350 grams. Therefore, you need 350 grams of water for this recipe. Similarly, to determine the amount of starter required, we set up a proportion using the 500 grams of flour as the reference. We know that the flour is 100% and the starter is 20%. By solving the equation, we find that x equals 100 grams. Hence, you need 100 grams of starter for this recipe. Now, let's calculate the amount of salt. Using the baker's percentage, we simply multiply the weight of the flour, which is 500 grams, by the percentage of salt, which is 2%. Doing this calculation, we find that the required amount of salt is 10 grams. To make things even easier, if you know the amount of flour in your recipe, you can quickly calculate the water, starter, and salt by multiplying the weight of the flour by each respective percentage. In our example with 500 grams of flour, we can calculate the other ingredients as follows. Water, 500 grams of flour multiplied by 0.7, 70%, equals 350 grams of water. Starter, 500 grams of flour multiplied by 0.2, 20%, equals 100 grams of starter. Salt, 500 grams of flour multiplied by 0.02, 2%, equals 10 grams of salt. By using the baker's percentage, you can easily scale your recipes up or down and maintain consistent ratios of ingredients. It provides a precise and reliable method for bakers to work with. Now that you understand the concept of the baker's percentage, you can confidently adapt and create bread recipes with accuracy.